Our decarbonization strategy for clients X, Y, and Z is really focused on the monetization of their carbon footprint. And what we've been working on really hard here at Geared for Green is to identify when there's challenges with cost established with your recycling program. What we know is a lot of companies want to be sustainable, but the main question is at what cost, right? They want to operate more sustainably, they want to educate more sustainably, they want to buy products more sustainably, and they want to create value. And so part of our decarbonization strategy is to help companies when they can't afford it themselves, knowing that they want to establish and be more sustainable, how can they find ways for the financing to come in to build the right program so they can show their consumers or their B2B model to enhance their sustainability. So with combination of all the things that we do here at Geared for Green, number one is focusing on how we can bring more value to a very linear recycling model. How recycling works typically is what can I get for that commodity, and when you get that the commodity of recycling. So right now, a plastic water bottle is worth 12 cents a pound. A plastic bag, which is considered LDPE, low density polyethylene, is worth 20 cents a pound. But then you have commodities like aluminum, which trade at 80 cents a pound to $1 per pound. And what happens is there's a lot of wish cycling. So when a hauler comes and picks up those materials and they process it, they look at what's inside of that trash or recycling, and they say, which one can I get value out of on a linear commodity basis? So we try to eliminate that completely and establish the right infrastructure, recycling setup, the right tracking of these materials using our technology like RegenerateX, which is a monitoring, reporting and verification tool that tracks the bill of ladings and the supply chain through and through. And in that, we can calculate your carbon reduction. That carbon reduction is valuable to you and your own reporting, but it's also valuable to people that are outside of your scope, right? Most of the time, we call this carbon offsetting. So offsetting is if you are a company that's under regulation that is required to reduce their carbon footprint, what you can do, according to the Paris Agreements, the Paris Accords, is that you can offset your footprint by investing into other companies that have nothing to do with your value chain to reduce, if they reduce the carbon footprint and you paid for that reduction of carbon footprint, then you can report your carbon footprint reduction. But what we're really focused on is an insetting model, not offsetting model. Insetting is when you offset within your own value chain, your own supply chain. A lot of these manufacturers, which are called Scope 2, or in Scope 2, they are creating all these products that end up to the Scope 3 partners, which are retailers and venues and events and businesses. And the Scope 2s of the world want to help invest and help their own value chain to recoup those materials, to increase recycling rates. And when you look at this as a whole, you now look at this outside of linear value. So what we're doing in our decarbonization strategy is really identifying how we can increase that value of carbon, which trades in an offset market, $30 per ton, and how can we get high value carbon? High value carbon is when you create a very elaborate program around your decarbonization strategy, which includes tracking of your materials. It's not just recycling and how much tons you remove out of the atmosphere, but it's having strong co-benefits. It's about adding technologies. It's about adding education and engagement. It's about adding jobs. It's about cleaning the air and atmosphere. And when you put all this together, you can have the Scope 2 partners work with their Scope 3 partners, and together they can share in the value of carbon reporting. And so what we're really focused on is combining all of our tools, how we operate, how we use our tracking and technology tools, how we help companies just implement the simple recycling, but share and get the offset and inset value to be supported so they can actually achieve their sustainability goals.